Happy Memorial Day, Saints fans. We have a lot of interesting news and rumors to get into today. An interesting trade idea, as well as some OTA previews to get into. The Saints had their second batch of OTAs starting this week, so we're going to talk about what I'm watching for, what I'm looking for. But before we get into that, happy Memorial Day. I hope all of you have a wonderful and safe holiday with your friends and family. I hope that today is a wonderful day for you to spend in the great country of the United States of America. And at the end of the day, we all can bleed black and gold because of our veterans. So thank you to all who have served. Happy Memorial Day, and let's get this thing started. All right, so let's chop it up. Welcome into today's show. I'm your host, Trace Gerard, and here's what we are discussing. We're talking DeAndre Hopkins. Is he a possible fit for the New Orleans Saints? ESPN actually said he is an ideal fit in New Orleans, and New Orleans is an ideal fit for him. So this is also an interesting update. We're going to get to the latest on a Hunter Renfrow trade, and then we're also going to preview the second batch of OTAs for the New Orleans Saints, as we said in the earlier part of this video. But let's get to it. Let's talk some D-Hop, because Jeremy Fowler suggested that the Saints are a fit to sign DeAndre Hopkins. And if you didn't know, if you live under a rock, or hey, if you just had your phone down this past weekend, DeAndre Hopkins was released earlier in the weekend by the Arizona Cardinals. A trade just never transpired. He is now a free agent. He is the top free agent available in the NFL. And the Saints have some money to spend. So let's get into what Jeremy Fowler had to say. He said Chris Olave is the primary receiver, but the Saints could use a running mate in light of Michael Thomas's durability concerns. The Saints don't really do the tear down rebuild thing. And with the weak NFC South, New Orleans could see an opportunity to pounce. The Saints have a healthy cap outlook at $13.6 million. Not that the opposite would have stopped them. And the Derek Carr is good enough to potentially entice Hopkins, who can continue to play in a dome and in a warm weather climate. So as for some other teams that Jeremy Fowler mentioned, he mentioned the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, New York Jets, Dallas Cowboys, Cleveland Browns, New York Giants, the Atlanta Falcons. I would hate to be on that team. And then the New England Patriots. And just in terms of teams that D-Hop has expressed interest, he went on the I Am Athlete podcast and he mentioned 5 quarterbacks that he would like to play, and they're the quarterbacks for these 5 teams: Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert, who I thought was kind of funny. He said, oh yeah, that young guy at San Diego. It's like, they're in LA, and I make the mistake too. It's not a big deal. It's whatever. But anyway, the Saints have money to spend. Money talks, and I understand that there's probably a better situation playing in Kansas City, playing in Buffalo, hell, even playing with the Philadelphia Eagles, who, if you forgot, we beat last season in Philadelphia nonetheless. On top of that, just going to say money talks. And I just want you to look at this graphic. Which team has the most money to spend right now? And I know that Jeremy Fowler said $13.6 million. I went and ran the numbers on Spotrac. They have about $14.3 million. So that's what I'm running with. The Saints have a lot of money. They got more money than any of these teams. Now, I truly do believe it's going to come down to either the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs. However, DeAndre Hopkins has emphasized that he is looking for a good contract, a big contract, a prime contract, a large contract. You're not getting that if you're going to Kansas City. You're not getting that if you go to Buffalo. And now, before you guys start saying, well, moving money around, this, that, and the other, that is definitely a possibility. That is definitely a thing that teams can do. You can sign them, rearrange money. That way you have more money to spend for this year and blah, 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 blah. Do void years, do incentives, do signing bonus, whatever it is. Do all of that to make the money stretch out every penny as much as you can. But the Saints have the most money to spend in terms of the fit for DeAndre Hopkins. So I think that the Saints should go and get involved in a bidding war. So let me hear you, Saints fans. If you want D-Hop in New Orleans, get in the comment section and type HOP. Because I personally wouldn't hate having DeAndre Hopkins in New Orleans. I think it would be a great addition, like Jeremy Fowler said, to have in case there is still injury issues with Michael Thomas. On top of that, he's just a damn good wide receiver, and he can still catch the ball really well. He's still one of the top contested catch guys in the NFL, so I would love for the Saints to go and get D-Hop. Go ahead and type Hop in the comment section. And guys, while you're down there, hit that sub button because we are going live on Wednesday at 3 p.m. to discuss Saints OTAs takeaways. We're probably going to talk about D-Hop. Hell, maybe we can get into some other free agency or some other trade ideas. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we're going to be talking about it because the comment section gets popping. The news and rumors never stops. We have a mailbag where you guys get to ask me questions. So tune in and subscribe Wednesday, 3 p.m. Central. And if all of that isn't reason enough, I got a giveaway for you because Saints fans, you earned it. You bought this, you earned it, and you bought the opportunity to have a raffle and have a giveaway. So we are going to be doing giveaways and doing a raffle for this flag. I thought this thing was sick. I wanted the opportunity for you to go and get it at a discount. So what we're doing is we're going to do $5 tickets to enter the raffle during our live show. However, if you want to go ahead and get this thing going, there's a super thanks icon and a super thanks option. Send in a $5 super thanks. Can say flag, can say giveaway, whatever you want in the message to be. But send in a $5 super thanks. It's a little box with a little money sign in there. You'll see it on next to the thumbs up icon, which, by the way, you should hit that too. But guys, we are going to be giving away this flag. It's a full-size flag. I know it looks kind of small to me. That's just a graphic. But anyway, join us for our live show. Subscribe, lock us in, and we're going to be giving away this flag. I hope you guys join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get into this next topic. A Hunter Renfrow trade. Could that be incoming? Because we are quickly approaching that June 1st deadline. And so I want you to keep in mind that June 2nd date because that's the day that I believe something could go down. And as for the player for Hunter Renfrow, in his career with the Las Vegas Raiders, 244 receptions, 2,600 yards in the air, and I think an underrated stat when you're looking at a wide receiver or at a skill position player in general is the first downs. So 17 touchdowns, that's pretty impressive. Derek Carr loved targeting Hunter Renfrow in the red zone, but he also it was also third in Renfro for a reason. He had 31 first downs in his career and 9.2 yards per catch, and all of this done in just 56 games. Yeah, that's a pretty impressive stat line, I would say. And I think that adding Hunter Renfrow makes way too much sense. You already brought in Foster Moreau. You went and brought in Bryan Edwards. Why not go and get Hunter Renfrow as well? Hunter Renfrow was one of Derek Carr's favorite third down targets. He targeted him a ton. And John Sigler of Saints Wire, I'm a big fan of what he does. I love his coverage, and I want to give him credit here because I thought that this little note in one of his recent blogs was very interesting. It said Derek Carr looked his way often on third downs, converting a fresh set of downs on 58 of his 88 receptions off of 118 career targets. Now, these are targets that happen on third down. And inside the red zone, scoring a touchdown on 15 of his 33 receptions inside the opposing 20-yard line. Having 45 career targets in that range. And there's a lot of trust between the receiver and the quarterback of Derek Carr. If a play breaks down, Renfro knows where his passer wants him to be. And I will add this, having a true slot wide receiver would be nice for the New Orleans Saints. Currently on the depth chart, you got Rashid Shaheed lining up in the slot, at least in our depth chart. But I think that Rashid Shaheed isn't just limited to a slot guy. And this isn't me saying that Hunter Renfrow is just a slot guy. I truly believe Hunter Renfrow can play anywhere on the field, but he is just very comfortable in that slot role. He has a very strong presence in that slot role, and he's very reliable as a slot wide receiver. So I think that bringing in Hunter Renfrow makes way too much sense. Having another slot wide receiver would be very nice. And at the end of the day, it's one of Derek Carr's favorite players that he targeted. You never know what's going to happen injury-wise. Load up the wide receiver room. Get as many bodies as you can in there because I am greedy when it comes to depth at the wide receiver position. But guys, we've talked about two wide receivers today, and we're going to get to some OTA breakdowns or some OTA previews and stuff to talk about, but pick one of these wide receivers. If you had to pick one of the two to add to the Saints roster, type DH. Bear in mind that would be it would be a free agency signing. You have to pay him a little bit of extra money. Hunter Renfrow, though, would be a trade. Could probably get him for pretty cheap. Share your thoughts, Who Dat Nation, and let me know which one of these wide receivers you want. And whichever one of these guys, if they get added to the Saints, we'll have a Saints jersey for available. However, right now, they ain't on the team. So you can go get a jersey for Derek Carr. You can go get a jersey for Brian Brzee. It won't be a number 1. It's a placeholder picture. It'll be number 90, which is what he's rocking. You can go get the Color Rush Tyrann Mathieu. Go get a Cameron Jordan jersey. Go get a Marshawn Lattimore jersey. Go get Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. Whoever you want it to be, we got Saints jerseys available for you. They're Nike. They're authentic. They're all that real good stuff. Ain't no shiesties. Ain't no fugazis when we're selling you these jerseys. Chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. Link will be available in the comment section and description of this video. All right, let's round this show out, and let's get this thing out of here so you can enjoy your Memorial Day. So let's talk about Derek Carr's chemistry. I'm very much so looking forward to how Derek Carr continues to build chemistry with a lot of his wide receivers. Chris Olave, if Michael Thomas is out there, that would be awesome. I'd love to see him be available, and I'd love to see him at OTAs in terms of just being on the field and being healthy and building that chemistry with Derek Carr. And as well as with other guys in the tight end room, like Lucas Kroll, for example, who we'll talk about in a minute, as well as Juwan Johnson, and then just, continuing to build that, chemistry and getting even more comfortable, if you can get more comfortable, with Foster Moreau, as well as A.T. Perry. I'm excited to see how he continues to develop. He was a guy who broke out and turned a lot of heads at the first batch of OTAs. Now, he had a couple drops, but at the end of the day, he had some really, really good catches as well. It's the first round of OTAs. Drops don't necessarily mean he just dropped the ball. It could be a PBU, it could be an interception, it could be a bad throw by a quarterback. Whatever it is, A.T. Perry's development will continue to be something that I'm interested in watching, as well as Lucas Kroll, because he was also a breakout guy in the last round of OTAs. Now, if you don't remember, he's a UDFA out of Pitt, also played in Florida. He was in last year's UDFA class with Rashid Shaheed. An interesting note about this, a lot of people don't know this, and I find it very interesting. He was a pitcher at Arkansas before he did all of that, which is pretty cool. Go, woo pig, go Hogs, that's me. Sorry about LSU. Sorry about beating you guys this weekend. But Lucas Kroll, his development is going to be interesting. He was a big breakout. He took a lot of tight end 3 reps and was very active in the first round of OTA, so I can't wait to see how he continues to grow into a player that can be a contributor on the offense. And then not just Lucas Kroll, but the tight ends as a whole. Juwan Johnson, I want to see continue build chemistry and continue to grow, continue to get better at pass catching, continue to get better at his run blocking. Foster Moreau, just reps. Obviously, he's doing fine. Obviously, the Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosis didn't even slow him down at all. He is back. He is doing great, and I just want to see him continue to play well. But on top of that, the linebackers is an interesting situation to watch as well and to monitor, because you have guys like Anthony Origi, you have Pete Werner, you have Zach Bond, you have DeMarco Jackson. These are all players that I think have a very realistic opportunity to have a good battle in the linebacker room. I personally think you got to add another linebacker, but if DeMarco Jackson continues to ball out, maybe you don't actually have to go and spend that money. And then on top of it, to round things out, the special teams competition. Will Lutz went perfect, 13 for 13 in the first round of OTAs. Blake Gillikin is continuing to show some really good things with his punts. Lou Headley, who I'm very high on, and I really want to make the roster. He's got to put some pressure on. He's got to get that work going, and he's got to get things moving if he wants to make the roster. But guys, here's just a few things that I'm watching for at OTAs. If you want to find out more what I'm looking at, hit me up on Twitter at TraceGerard48. But guys, let's get a gold call going. If you are locked in, and by locked in, I mean you are subscribed, you have your notifications on, and you know where to get the best OTA updates, that is right here, Saints Now by Chat Sports. I need you to type "Stay Golden" in the comment section, because this is the #1 spot to get all of your updates, news, rumors, all sorts of fun content. Like I always say, guys, we will see you tomorrow. We'll see you Wednesday for our live show. Feel free to join our raffle now. Reminder, it's a $5 buy-in per ticket. Who Dat Nation, y'all stay golden. We'll catch you next time.